Good morning, everybody. Thanks for tuning in with me today. Welcome back to the Keto Fit Weight Loss Coaching for Women. My name is Jess, and I help women lose weight and overcome emotional eating with a keto diet and mindset and motivation coaching. And today I'd like to share my story with you about why I became a coach and how I became a coach. So I just want to introduce myself, give you a chance to get to know me a little bit better and what I am passionate about and why I'm so passionate about it as a weight loss coach for women, and unashamedly advocating a keto diet as just a very magical thing to help you practice self-care and feel your best. So along with reaching your weight loss goals. So again, my name's Jess, and what made me become a coach is a little bit of a long story, but I will try to keep it very brief. But I want to start off by encouraging you guys with a major theme that I have experienced in my life, and that is that nothing is wasted in God's economy. Whether you believe in God, whether you believe in a benevolent universe, karma, meant to be, whatever you believe in, nothing is wasted in God's economy. And it's just so amazing when you can look in the rear view and just see the breadcrumbs of everything that is kind of lining up and coming together in such synergy to set you up to find your purpose. And that's been my experience. And wherever you are today, whatever you are feeling about your purpose, whether you feel connected to it, whether you feel totally disconnected from it, totally confused about it, I just want to encourage you that nothing is wasted in God's economy, and that even if something feels so far away and so impossible, right now matters. There's a reason for it. You might only see it in the rearview mirror. That's kind of funny how life works sometimes, but so that's been my experience. Let me share with you a little bit about my story of why and how I became a coach. So as a kid, I was always very curious. My mom used to tease me and call me question box because I was that kid that asked a million questions, not just why over and over again, but like really serious questions. Probably overwhelmed her, especially because I'm a twin, and so my mom was constantly dealing with two kids at the same time. But I've always been really curious, and I've always asked really interesting questions, and so I love asking questions. I love figuring out how people's minds work and what makes people tick. As a kid, I also really struggled with my weight, being overweight. And if you'd like to hear a little bit more about my journey with that, I do have a podcast episode all about it. It's episode 2 called My Battle with Feeling Overweight, and that is on the Self-Care Keto podcast. So you can find that just by typing Self-Care Keto on wherever you listen to podcasts. So I won't go too far into that today, but that was definitely something that also shaped my reason for doing what I do today. So when I went into high school and I saw that psychology was offered as an elective, of course, I signed up for it. I was so curious about how the mind works, why people are the way that they are. So I studied psychology in high school, and then I knew that I was going to major in that when I went to college. So I grew up in Massachusetts, and then I ended up going to college in Pennsylvania. That's where I met my husband. We fell in love, and I got married at a very young age. So I got married at 20 years old, and we've been married now for 15 years. So long story short, I ended up dropping out of college, and that was really crazy because I really had identified myself with academics for most of my life, but I felt that God was leading me in a different direction. And I have zero regrets about that because I did end up finishing school later on in life, and I think that I appreciated it so much more, actually. So I did my undergrad in psychology, did the first few years at a traditional age, and then ended up finishing it when I was 27 years old. So I went into psychology thinking that I wanted to be a therapist someday. I wanted to be a counselor. I wanted to listen to people. I wanted to help people. But what ended up happening, interestingly, is my dad ended up really struggling with some mental health issues. And he passed away in 2017 as a result of that. And I had kind of become a caregiver to him for a while. And so I experienced a lot of compassion fatigue surrounding mental health issues. And I started to really question, like, am I really cut out for this? Am I not necessarily cut out, because I do believe that I could do it, but I was asking myself, do I want to do this? Do I want to work with people who are really struggling in their mental health all the time? And at the time, I didn't really know too much about life coaching. So around 2011, my husband and I had a major life transition that was really, really difficult. And I experienced a lot of grief surrounding that. And even though I had struggled most of my life with feeling overweight, I wasn't really overweight as an adult until right after this season. I ended up gaining about 50 pounds. And I was very overweight for about 2 years and really struggled with depression and anxiety during that time. It was right after I finished my bachelor's degree in 2013. A few months later, I was like, feeling all motivated and inspired, and what am I going to do now with this degree, and so on and so forth. And I ended up getting really serious about wanting to improve my health and enter the new phase of my life. I wanted to lose the weight. So I started Atkins as a really quick fix. I thought that I would do it for 2 weeks and drop 10 pounds, but I ended up falling in love with how I felt when I experienced the magic of ketosis for the first time. And not only did I get the weight loss that I was looking for, but unexpectedly, I felt so many other amazing benefits. It really changed my mood. It really eased my symptoms of depression and anxiety. I felt like a brand new person. I felt like the person that I had wanted to be. I was finally able to overcome the emotional and disordered eating that I had struggled with for all of my life. And when I experienced that freedom, it didn't take me long to realize I'm doing this forever. And then it also didn't take me long to realize that I wanted to help other women to find this experience that I had found. So I started to have this dream in my heart probably around 2014. I started keto November 2013. It was probably a little less than a year later. I remember being on a train trip to DC in October of 2014 and writing out on the notes on my phone this idea to be a keto coach for women. And this idea of, wouldn't it be amazing if we could pair like a nutritionist and a therapist together in the same room and just kind of tackle both at the same time, because it's so connected, the struggle with weight and also the emotions that are tied up in that, the toxic beliefs that are tied up in that. So that's when I started to have that dream. And so I had my bachelor's degree in psychology. I knew that I didn't want to be a therapist anymore. And I had this dream in my heart of what I would like to do to be a keto coach for women. Well, I ended up having my daughter in October of 2016. I had been thinking about going back to school to get my master's degree in counseling, but it just didn't feel like the right time. I felt like, okay, I wanted to be a mom first. So I had my daughter in October of 2016, and my dad ended up passing away in February of 2017. So that was a really, really hard season. But it also made me just look at my life. Losing somebody can really do that. It can help you reframe what really matters and what really doesn't. So I had been doing a series of different careers in my life. I worked as a barista when I was younger and in the first half of my undergrad, and when I first was married to my husband, and I really, really loved that. I loved connecting with people. I worked at Starbucks. It was a great company to work for. And so I loved connecting with people. I loved Starbucks encouraging you to connect with your customers and surprise and delight them. My husband and I worked with a lot of churches. We were mentors to teenagers. And so I also experienced, another breadcrumb there of really just the power of sitting across from somebody and listening to their story. The only thing that I regret is that I probably gave way too much advice. I didn't know any better back then. I wish I would have listened more and talked less. But I knew that was something that I was meant to be doing, was that one-on-one connection with other people. And then I did a lot of administrative and financial work, honestly, and I was really, really good at that. So that's what I was doing. And I started my coaching practice as a side hustle in July of 2017, along while working my full-time administrative job that I loved. And I thought to myself, I really, really love this. I'm going to do this as a side hustle until I can build it up to the place where I'm able to go full-time. When I had my very first client, I remember sitting across from her at a Starbucks in person, and I just felt God. I felt God with us, that this was what I was supposed to be doing. And it was such a moment of peace, of, okay, I'm going all in. I'm going to do this. So I decided to go back to school. I started in October of 2017 and earned my master's degree in August of 2019 in non-clinical counseling and life coaching. So I'm so excited to just know that I've gone out and gotten the credentials that I felt like I needed to be able to do the thing that I'm called to do. And so I've studied counseling skills, I've studied life coaching, I've studied addictions, and then I ended up actually going to get my nutrition certification. I did my ketogenic nutrition training through the American Nutrition Association. And over time, it started from a side hustle back in July 2017, and I finally was able to go full-time in my coaching practice since February 2019, right? February 2020, sorry. So right before COVID. So that was fun. But yeah, it's been really great, and I love working with women. Again, I coach women to lose weight and overcome emotional eating with a keto diet and mindset and motivation coaching. And so what I'm all about is helping you discover what your bigger purpose is. Our weight loss efforts are not just to look a certain way. We all have a connection to a bigger why that lives inside of us. And I believe that when we lose weight and we start to tie it to self-care and self-love and our purpose, that actually creates a domino effect and gives us the confidence to really start going after all of the dreams that are in our heart. And so I've had the honor of working with some amazing women over the last 3 years, and I would love to work with you. So I offer coaching in a group format as well as one-on-one. And my next round of group coaching, called Self-Care Keto Coaching for Women, starts up the week after Labor Day. And I would love for you to be a part of it. So if you're interested in coaching with me, all that you need to do is send me a direct message. I'm at The Keto Fit on Instagram and on Facebook, and I would love to connect with you and help you to learn more about it. I also offer one-on-one coaching where you can start anytime. So again, just send me a direct message to get started. Thanks so much for listening to my story today about what made me become a coach and how I became a coach. If you want to learn more information about coaching before you message me, you can totally do that over at my website, theketofit.com. Thanks so much again for listening, guys. I can't wait to connect with you. So again, group coaching starts the week after Labor Day. The deadline for that is September 1st. So message me today, and I would love to connect with you. Take care.